Hey, what's up? My name is Wesford, and the Voice of Reason reacted to one of my videos entitled The Roman Catholic Dilemma. So let's hear what he has to say. The Roman Catholic Church teaches that the Eastern Orthodox Church is a valid church with valid sacraments, including a valid Eucharist. That an Orthodox Christian can commune at a Roman Catholic Church because both are equally valid. The Orthodox position, however, is that an Orthodox Christian cannot commune at a Roman Catholic Church because they are in schism and are outside of the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. If A says that A and B are both true, B says that A is not true, only B is true, we can conclude that A is not true, necessarily. Doesn't mean necessarily that B is true, but if A claims that B is true and B says A is not true, A cannot be true. As Father Peter here says, Rome says that the Orthodox have Christ, but not the Pope. If we have Christ, what can we be lacking? This is the Roman Catholic dilemma.
So this argument actually doesn't work. Let me explain why. Now, his logic is correct. It's true that if A claims that A and B are both true, but then B says that only B is true and A is false, that necessarily means that B is true and A is false. So that logic is correct. But the reason that his conclusion is false is because he actually starts from a faulty premise. And the reason he has a faulty premise is because he commits the fallacy of conflation. So he is conflating the fact that the Catholic Church says that the Orthodox churches have a valid Eucharist with saying that the Catholic Church says that the Orthodox churches are true. This is false. The Catholic Church does not say that the Orthodox churches are true. The Church says that the Orthodox churches have a valid Eucharist, but that is not the same as saying that those churches are true in what they teach. The Orthodox churches have something that is true, but it doesn't make them true as a whole. So he starts with the conflation, which gives him a faulty premise. So even though his logic is correct, he still comes to a false conclusion. See, the Orthodox churches, and not just the Eastern Orthodox, but the Oriental Orthodox and the Assyrian Church of the East, they all have a valid Eucharist because they have valid apostolic succession, meaning that they are apostolic and they are holy because they have valid sacraments. But those are only two of the four pillars for the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. So, pointing out that the Orthodox churches have something that is true doesn't mean that they are true. In the same way that when Catholics point out that many Protestants have valid baptisms, that doesn't mean that Protestantism is true. When Catholics point out that Protestants do have a Bible, that doesn't mean that Protestantism is true. So this argument actually doesn't work. This is actually a version of the Islamic dilemma, which is true for Islam, because with the Islamic dilemma, we see that the Quran teaches that the Bible is true. So the Quran says that the Bible is true, but then the Bible says things that contradict the Quran. That necessarily means that the Quran is false.
I will admit to conflating Christ with the truth, but I think I'm in pretty good company there because Christ himself says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So is it a conflation or is it simply the case? He said that my logic is correct, but that my premise is faulty. So if Christ can be shown to in fact be the truth, then I think he would have to admit that my logic is sound and my conclusion is correct. And I do think it's a false conflation for him to actually say that Christ and the Bible are like a one-to-one analogy when the Protestants have the Bible, so therefore they have a part of the truth. But can you have part of Christ? Can Christ be divided? Can you have Christ but not the truth? Can you divorce Christ from the truth? I don't believe so, and I think that's why my premise is sound. So thank you, Voice of Reason, for responding. I do believe this is a fairly strong argument. I haven't seen any rebuttal that pokes holes in it or that makes me reconsider it as an argument. And I'm welcome to anyone leaving something in the comment to tell me where I'm wrong in this argument. Because if it's a bad argument, I'm not going to keep using it. So thank you, Voice of Reason, again for reacting, and hope you all have a good day. Goodbye.